What's up, you gaming glitches and bitches? This is Bite Man, the gaming paladin, coming at you from Centerville, Ohio, and I'm going to talk to you about something today that's been sitting for the last couple of weeks. If any of you actually happen to watch Razorfist's channel, or Alpha Mega Sense, then you'll know that they've had something to say about this. Now it's my turn, because I've been giving this a lot of thought. Apparently, for the longest time, Capcom has been in what's known as purchase protection. And that's where the stockholders have to keep fending off everybody who's trying to buy anything and everything about the company, including the company itself. Because right now they're swimming so much fucking debt that Scrooge McDuck is sitting there looking at the fucking debt vault right next to his money bin and going, damn, I wish I had that in cash. You know, it's fucking crazy. It really is. But, you know, you get to thinking that if Capcom does go under, it's going to be a lot like THQ. Either somebody's going to snap the entire company up, or they're going to piecemeal out each of the intellectual properties, you know, completely. And I'm thinking, okay, now let me think about this for a second here, because I really have some thoughts about this, especially when it concerns Nintendo. Now, we all know that Nintendo's been sitting there sort of on the half sidelines because the Wii U seems to be the inferior product of the 8th generation of console wars. And really, I think that if Nintendo were to make certain strategic purchases when it comes to Capcom's intellectual properties, they would easily come out on top. One of the first, and obviously the biggest no-brainers, is Mega Man. Buy the entire Mega Man intellectual property. I'm talking each of the spin-offs, each of the sequels, everything, all of the fucking code that you can possibly buy, and then take the unfinished data for Mega Man Legends 3, bring that shit over to fucking Concept, get NT Creates to work on it with them, announce this shit, immediately you go from zero to hero, and people are going to start fucking buying the 3DS in droves again. Not only that, but I'll guarantee you that if you say you're also bringing it to the Wii U, you're selling, you got a system seller right there. People are going to do that. Why? Because they would love the openness, the fan-friendly gesture that something like that move would engender. And it's a wonderful idea, to be quite honest. I don't see why anybody wouldn't. The next one I was thinking about was the Ace Attorney series, and this one really also was a no-brainer, because if you think about it, almost all of the good Phoenix Wright games, all the good ones there, even Apollo Justice, that mediocre one that Inafune had to do, because when Kamiya quit and like left, the whole series sort of just basically on his hands. All of those were for the DS here in the States, and you know, the Phoenix Wright ones were for the Game Boy Advance SP over in Japan. You know, they were translated over for the DS over here, and those were huge. Those were incredibly popular. I mean, Ace Attorney Investigations, people are still, you know, begging for that to come over this way. I believe Investigations 2 is the one it is. You know, we're supposed to be getting, you know, Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton on the 3DS coming up. How big would it be for Nintendo to actually just outright own that? I think that would just be a major coup. You know, and not only that, but let's also look along the lines of another intellectual property, Resident Evil. Alright, in my opinion, the two greatest versions of Resident Evil games ever made were the Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil Zero. Both of those were on the Nintendo GameCube back in Gen 6. And now all of a sudden, you would be able to have them up in Gen 8. But who would you get to do them? I mean, honestly, I don't know if I would trust Nintendo to do that themselves. I was thinking, you know, farm that one out to Platinum and let Hideki Kamiya, who worked on the first and second ones and knew what Mikami was trying to go for, let him do that. Because while everybody's sitting there saying, I would love Resident Evil Revelations, you know, this third-person shooter that sort of goes back to the horror, you know, no, not me. I want the whole B-movie horror feel. I want the fixed and somewhat, you know, semi-dynamic camera angles that we had in the Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil Zero. I want those back. Those would be my kind of game right there. I just think that would be a no-brainer right there to give that one to Platinum, because I think Platinum, you know, who of course used to be Clover Studios, those are the guys who actually know what Resident Evil was supposed to be. You know, they used to be the Capcom people, so I say let's just give it to them, let them run with it. Then there's You know, of course, everybody's like, well, they need a Street Fighter series. You know, if they're going to survive, they need the Street Fighter. No, they don't. They have Super Smash Brothers. If you got Super Smash Brothers, you don't need Street Fighter. You can let that just fucking rot over on the wayside. I say, let Koei Tecmo or Bandai Namco pick that up. You know, that would be huge. And then, of course, Capcom has a ton of other IPs, too. The Marvel vs. Capcom series, you know, if you're already, you know, farming out IPs, that game is done and gone. That's out of here. That forever. That thing will be broken. You can also have Bionic Commando. You might be able to bring that back. But really, Nintendo is having enough problems as it is bringing back their own intellectual properties. Personally, I'd love to see an Air Fortress 2 on the Wii U. I think the graphics on that would be incredible, and that would be something that just needs to be done. But, you know, I mean, if Capcom just doesn't get their shit together and start realizing that it's the fans who bring this to the yard, and instead of just doing all of this, you know, farming and saying that it's the fans that are responsible for their games not being made, which is totally not fucking true at all, you know, then they deserve to go out, and this is what needs to happen. Nintendo needs to pick up at least those 3 fucking titles. They need to get the Resident Evil series. They need Mega Man and Leaps and Bounds, and the Ace Attorney they need to lock down. I actually would like to see Nintendo also pick up Lost Planet, because I think Monolith Soft, you know, with Xenoblade Chronicles X, we've already seen what they can do with that, and I would love to see what they would be able to do with Lost Planet. I think that would be incredible. You know, they're already kind of working on Mech, so let's just see what that does. You know, down below you got the comment section. You know, leave a comment, drop a like. Also, pick up a subscription to the channel if you would, please. Until next time, this is Bite Man saying good night, rock on, and game on.